Everyone wants an organized life, a routine that works, waking up with energy, sleeping in peace, feeling like the day had purpose. But most people keep searching for complicated methods, miracle apps, formulas that promise transformation in 3 days. Meanwhile, they ignore the basics. And the problem isn't a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of practice. We know what we need to do, we've known for years, but we don't do it. And that's exactly where the difference lies between those who complain about life and those who actually change. Napoleon Hill, after studying trajectories of extraordinary achievement, concluded, success is the result of simple daily habits practiced with persistence. He emphasized that self-discipline doesn't arise from passing motivation, but from repeated choices that shape character and destiny. Philosophy reinforces. True freedom is born from mastery over oneself, not from external circumstances. Today I'm going to show you 10 simple habits that almost no one truly practices. Things that seem too obvious to work, but that do work. And if you apply at least half of what you're going to learn here, your life will start to change within a few weeks. If this made sense to you, stay with me and declare in the comments. I do the basics every day, because those who stop looking for shortcuts and embrace practice build discipline, consolidate character, and transform their own lives in the silence of daily actions. Stay until the end, because the last habit is the one that ties all the others together. Let's start with habit 1, the foundation of everything. Sleep. The body operates on rhythm. It has an internal clock that regulates energy, hormones, and mood. When you go to sleep at 11 one night and at 2 the next, wake up at 6 one day and at 9 the following, you're sabotaging that system. Hill observed that successful people treat sleep as an essential investment, not a variable luxury. Consistency here creates stable energy for all other areas. Your body never knows what to expect. The result is constant fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and that feeling of always being behind on sleep. Even when you sleep enough, you wake up feeling heavy. The solution is simple. Choose a time to go to sleep and a time to wake up, and maintain it on weekdays and weekends. It sounds rigid, but it's liberating. After a few weeks, your body begins to wake up naturally before the alarm. Energy stabilizes, mood improves, and you discover that you didn't need more hours of sleep, you needed regularity. Comment: I honor my body with routine and rest, because those who respect their own rhythm build invisible discipline. And silent discipline sustains all prosperous life. Before moving on, understand this: if you don't master sleep, everything that follows becomes wasted effort. But now, with the body regulated, the mind awakened, and energy stabilized, a decisive question arises. What are you putting inside yourself every day? Because there's no point in waking up well if you eat poorly. There's no point in the nighttime discipline if during the day you consume confusion in the form of food. The next habit defines whether this energy turns into clarity or fatigue again. This is where many people fall, thinking willpower alone is enough. Let's move on. Habit 2. Prioritize real foods. Nutrition that sustains clarity. You don't need trendy diets, elaborate meal plans, or imported ingredients. You need food your grandmother would recognize as food. Rice, beans, eggs, legumes, fruits, and vegetables. The basics done well nourish more than any expensive supplement or industrialized protein bar. Hill taught, a sick body hosts a limited mind. Eating with intention nourishes not just the physical, but the capacity to think with clarity. We overcomplicate food, obsessing over macro and micronutrients while filling our carts with ultra-processed products. We buy fit products full of chemicals, thinking we're taking care of our health in our daily lives. Go back to the simple. Cook when you can. It doesn't have to be an elaborate recipe. Scrambled eggs with tomato is already a meal. Eat sitting down, without rushing, without a screen in front of you. Chew slowly. That too is organizing your life. Because when you eat well, you think better, sleep better, work better, everything is connected. Comment, I honor my body with real food, because those who choose the simple everyday build clarity, strength, and discipline. And those who care for the body expand the mind. Before we move to the next habit, listen carefully. If what enters your body influences what comes out of your mind, then look around you now, because there's no point in internal clarity if you live surrounded by external chaos. The disorder you tolerate every day drains your energy, steals your focus, and weighs on your subconscious, even when you pretend not to notice. And that's why the next step is urgent, because an organized mind cannot survive in an abandoned environment. Habit 3. Take care of your environment daily. This is the secret that changes everything about organizing your home. Your home doesn't need marathon cleaning sessions on weekends, those 6 hours of heavy cleaning that leave you exhausted and irritated at everything. Your home needs daily maintenance. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 at night, one room at a time, one small task at each interval. Walked through the living room. Straighten the cushions. Went to the bathroom. Wiped down the sink. Finished eating. Washed the plate right away. Napoleon Hill said, "Clutter in the environment is the reflection of a mind without a plan." When you organize your space, you organize your power of execution. When you spread the care throughout the day, the house stays in order without that weight of having to fix everything at once. You'll never spend an entire Saturday cleaning again, because there will be nothing to accumulate. Organization is not an event, it's a habit. It's a repeated choice every day until it becomes automatic. If you don't take care of what's outside, you'll never sustain what's inside. Comment. I take care of my environment every day, because those who declare create identity, and those who honor their own space sustain an organized mind and a constant power of execution. You've already understood that organization is not effort, it's consistency, but there is something even more dangerous than a messy house. It's the disorder of the mind. If your environment is already starting to obey you, it's time to take the next step. Because those who don't feed their mind every day end up being fed by the world's distractions. In the next habit, I'll show you why reading daily is not leisure, it's mental survival. It's how you accumulate wisdom, clarity, and long-term vision. Don't skip this. Habit 4 is what separates those who merely organize themselves from those who truly evolve. Habit 4. Read daily. Mental expansion that accumulates wisdom. 10 pages seems like little, almost nothing. But do the math with me. 10 pages a day is 300 pages a month. That's 3 to 4 books. In a year, that's more than 36 books. 36 books you wouldn't read if you kept waiting to find time to read. Hill taught that knowledge is only potential power. It only becomes real power when organized into plans of action. But beyond quantity, there is quality of reading. When you read an actual book, your brain works differently. You create images, connect ideas, develop vocabulary and critical thinking. You need to pay attention, reread paragraphs, reflect. A video summary cannot replace this. It gives you the illusion of knowledge without the process that actually transforms. You watch 15 minutes, think you understood the entire book, but you haven't truly absorbed anything. You forget it in 2 days. Pick up the book, physical or digital, it doesn't matter. Read slowly, highlight, take notes, absorb. This changes the way you think. Comment. I read every day to think differently, because those who declare consolidate, and those who read daily build a mind that cannot be manipulated. Now pay attention, because if you stop here, you lose what sustains all of this. Knowledge without energy becomes dead intention. A book without a strong body becomes an idea that never leaves the page. The next habit is what turns everything you've read into daily action, into discipline that doesn't fail, into strength to keep going even when motivation disappears. If you want consistency, mental clarity, and the resilience to not give up midway, don't skip this. Habit 5. Move your body regularly. Energy that sustains discipline. You don't need an expensive gym. You don't need a personal trainer. You don't need 2 hours of heavy training. You need movement. A walk around the neighborhood, stretching at home, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, dancing in the living room while you clean, doing squats while you wait for the coffee. Napoleon Hill said, "The inertia of the body is the greatest enemy of initiative. Move the body and the mind will follow." The human body was made to move. And when you stay still all day, sitting at work, sitting in the car, lying on the couch, it charges you. It charges you with back pain, with fatigue, with bad mood, with insomnia. 20 daily minutes are enough to keep circulation active, mood stable, and the mind clearer. Don't complicate it. Don't wait for motivation to appear. Just move your body. Start with 5 minutes if you need to, just start. Comment, "I move even when I don't feel like it," because those who move their body on an ordinary day build the identity of someone who doesn't depend on motivation, they depend on discipline. You've already activated your body, but if you keep feeding your mind with an excess of noise, all of this is lost. Habit 6 is the watershed between those who try to change and those who truly take control of their own lives. If you don't reduce your screen time, screens will drain your energy, steal your focus, and silently nullify your discipline. Stay here. The next habit is urgent. It will protect your mind, your clarity, and your peace. And without that, no progress holds. Habit 6. Reduce your exposure to screens. Pay attention to this habit, because it's stealing your life without you noticing. Hill said that those who don't control their own time control nothing. The phone has become an extension of the hand. We pick it up without even thinking, wake up and already look at it. We eat looking at it, work looking at it, sleep looking at it, scroll through feeds without purpose, waste hours without noticing, and then complain there's no time for anything. The time exists. It's being sucked up by a 6-inch screen. Set times when the phone stays away. During meals, the phone doesn't sit at the table. During the first hour of the morning, your day doesn't begin with other people's notifications. In the last hour, before sleeping, your mind needs to decelerate. Create screen-free zones in your home. The bedroom can be one of them, the dining table, another. Do this for 1 week and tell me what happens. Comment. I control my time, not the screen, because those who declare limits reclaim power, and those who govern their own time govern their own life. The next habit separates those who live busy from those who truly advance. If you feel like you do a lot and achieve little, the problem is not a lack of effort, it's an excess of noise. Hill already warned, those who don't master focus live at the mercy of chaos. And that's exactly what we're going to break now. In the next habit, you'll learn to subtract in order to finally grow, eliminate what drains, cut what distracts, subtract what is silently holding your life back. Because prosperity is not born from accumulation, it's born from strategic subtraction. Stay here. Habit 7 may be the turning point you've been ignoring. Habit 7. Eliminate what weakens you. Your time will multiply, your anxiety will decrease, your presence in things will increase. This habit demands courage, because it's not about adding anything, it's about cutting. It may be a habit you know is harming you. It may be a substance you use to escape. It may be a self-sabotaging thought pattern. It may be a type of content you consume that leaves you worse off. You know what it is. You know what pulls you down every time, you know what leaves you weaker, more anxious, more distant from the person you want to be. Hill taught. Success requires eliminating the unnecessary to focus on the essential. Subtraction creates space for growth. Organizing life is not just about adding good things, it's about having the courage to look at what harms you and decide it no longer has a place. Sometimes the biggest change comes from a subtraction, not an addition. What do you need to eliminate? You already know the answer. Napoleon Hill always said, "No one is free until they learn to master themselves." Comment. Today I set myself free. If you had the courage to cut what weakens you, now comes the decisive part. It's not enough to eliminate what pulls you down. You must choose who pulls you up. The next habit will define whether your new strength will be protected or drained. If you continue to be surrounded by those who diminish your vision, everything you've built up to here is lost. Stay with me, because now it's no longer about survival, it's about elevation. Habit 8. Build relationships that elevate you. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't a motivational quote from the internet, it's an observation of reality. Those around you influence your thoughts, your habits, your ambitions, your vocabulary, your vision of what's possible. Hill affirmed, surround yourself with minds that elevate yours, relational choices determine trajectory. If you're surrounded by people who complain about everything, who settle, who criticize your dreams, who live in drama, you will absorb that. You'll start thinking that way and shrink your goals to fit within the group. Seek those who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, who genuinely celebrate your victories and lift you up when you fall, who are building something, growing, evolving, and be that person for others too. Relationships are a two-way street. Be the kind of company you would like to have in your daily life. As Napoleon Hill said, no individual can have great power without the support of a mastermind. Comment, I elevate my circle with wisdom. Before moving to the last habit, stop everything now and listen carefully. If you no longer trust your own word, no plan works, no strategy holds, no change remains. Everything you want begins here, with the internal trust you build when you keep what you promise yourself. And that's exactly why the next habit is decisive. Without it, even self-discipline wears down. With it, your mind strengthens, your clarity increases, and your decisions stop being impulsive. In Habit 10, you'll learn why silence is not an absence of action, it's the place where focus is born, strength organizes itself, and destiny begins to obey. Don't skip it, don't get distracted. The final habit separates those who merely try from those who truly change. Habit 9. Keep promises to yourself. Build internal trust. Making promises is very easy. The mouth says anything. You say, I'll start Monday. This year will be different. Leave it to me. The hard part is doing it. And the more you promise without keeping your word, the more you lose credibility with others and, most importantly, with yourself. Each broken promise is a crack in the trust you have in yourself. You stop believing in your own words. As Hill taught, self-discipline is born from words aligned with actions. Keeping to the basics builds a solid foundation. Flip the game. Talk less about what you're going to do. Do it first. Let the results speak. Surprise people with action, not with speech. Those who deliver don't need to keep announcing. The facts speak for themselves. From today on, before promising anything, ask yourself, am I certain I will do this? If the answer isn't an absolute yes, don't promise, stay silent and go do it. Napoleon Hill affirmed that successful people make decisions quickly and change them very rarely. Keep what you've decided. Comment, my word has value, because those who honor what they promise themselves build identity, and those who sustain their own word sustain any change. Habit 10. Reserve moments of silence. This is the habit that ties all the others together. That's why I left it for last. We live in constant noise. Notifications, music, podcasts, conversations, television, racing thoughts, there's always something filling the space. Hill called this the access to infinite intelligence. In noise, you are just a passenger. In silence, you are the captain. We fear silence. We flee from it. We put on headphones so we don't have to be alone with our own minds. But it is in silence that we find ourselves. That we hear what we're truly feeling, that we process the day, our emotions, our decisions, that we notice what is working and what needs to change. Reserve at least a few minutes each day to be in silence, no screen, no audio, no distraction. Just you and your thoughts. It can be in the morning before everyone wakes up. It can be at night before sleeping. It can be in the middle of the day, in a conscious pause. It doesn't need to be formal meditation. It doesn't need a technique. Just silence and presence. Inner listening. Make this a sacred commitment, because in this moment of silence you will find the clarity to apply all the other habits. Comment, I choose silence to hear my truth, because those who declare in written voice consolidate identity, and those who honor silence take command of their own life. None of these habits is revolutionary. None requires money, a degree, or special conditions. Going to sleep and waking up at the same time, eating real food, tidying the house little by little, reading 10 pages, moving your body, reducing phone use, eliminating what weakens, spending time with good people, speaking less and delivering more, keeping silence, the basics. The obvious. What everyone knows but almost no one does. And that's exactly why it works, because while most people keep looking for shortcuts, you will be building a solid foundation, brick by brick, day after day. An ordered life doesn't begin with big changes, it begins with small choices made with consistency. The basics that no one practices is precisely what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Choose one habit from this list, just one. Start today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next month, today. Practice it for a week, then add another, and another. In 3 months, your life will be unrecognizable, not by magic, but by consistency. So, which of these habits do you already practice? Which one will you start applying from now on? Tell me in the comments. I read all of them and reply to as many as I can. If this video made sense to you, leave a comment saying, I choose the basics with consistency. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and hit the bell to not miss the next content. See you in the next video.